Hi, hello, Vanakkam, and welcome back to yet another episode on our Little Slaw YouTube channel. So today in this video we are going to see about time shift function, and I have created another video on time function, what is a time function and how to use it in our previous videos. Please do check our playlist if you are really looking for a video on time function and how to use it. That video would be very useful to you. And this video we are going to see how to use the time shift function. So firstly we will see what is the difference between the time and the time shift function. So why do we need time shift function when we already have a time function? And also I will tell you how to use the time shift function. And before we move on to the video, this is me, your son Shanmugam. I welcome you all to our Little Slow YouTube channel. Please don't forget to subscribe to our channel if you haven't subscribed it yet. Like, comment your questions and feedback in the comment section. Share the video with your friends, colleagues, and peers. So, with no further delay, let's go to the video. So, firstly, let me take you through the difference between the time function and the time shift function. So, firstly, the time function. So, the time function in JMeter is used to retrieve the current system time. See, for example, you can get the current date, day, month, year, and same way the current hour of the day, current minute of the hour, current second of the minute, and even the milliseconds. And the time function, it does not manipulate the timestamp. Instead, as I have told you, it provides you the current time in the specified format. And this function, the time function, is useful when you need to capture the current time for logging or for any validation or for other purposes within your test plan. And also it does not involve shifting or modifying the timestamps. It just simply returns the current time or date or hour, whatever you need when executed. On the other hand, the time shift function which you're going to see now is used to manipulate the timestamps by adding or by subtracting a specified time period. So you can get yesterday's date or the previous hour or tomorrow's date or an hour after this. So we can manipulate the timestamps. And this time shift function will also allow you to shift the timestamps forward or backward in time, which is related to the current time or a given timestamp. And this function is useful for simulating time-based scenarios or for scheduling events or for adjusting timestamps dynamically within your test plan. And this time shift takes a timestamp, a time format, and an offset value as input parameter, where the offset specifies the amount of time to shift the timestamp. So unlike time, so the time shift actually modifies the timestamps based on the specified offset, which allows for more dynamic and flexible time manipulation. So overall, in summary, I would say while both time and time shift functions deal with time related operations in JMeter, they serve different purposes. So the time retrieves the current system time, whereas the time shift is used to shift the timestamps forward or backward by a specified amount of time. So I think we are done with the theory part. So let's now see how to do it using the hands-on now. So here I have the code, which is so here this one is the format of getting the time shift value, which starts with the dollar symbol, open bracket, and then the close bracket, followed by two underscores, and then time shift, and followed by five separators, which are separated by four commas. So here if you see the time shift command, we have got four commas, which is actually separating five arguments. So the first argument here which will come is the function. So the first argument of this time shift function is for specifying the timestamp we want to shift or you want to shift, and if you provide code without any value, so that when there is no value provided for the timestamp argument, so leaving it empty means it defaults to the current timestamp. So when you give this, you get the current timestamp. And then the second argument is for specifying the format of the timestamp. So similar to the first argument, If there is no value provided for the time format, when left empty, the default format is used, which is the epoch format. And then the third one, which is the offset. So the third argument is for specifying the amount of time by which you want to shift it. So this is where you are going to use for shifting it backward or forward. And in your code, if we do not specify any values, the timestamp remains unchanged, which is we are not manipulating it. And then the fourth and the fifth are optional because they have the time zones. So they deal with the time zones and other optional related stuff. So let's have this format for now, and I will show you how to do this, how to use this uh, function. So I have declared a variable long time underscore a with the default time shift option, and let me print it out so we can see how does it works. And let me save it, and when I run it, here you can see the current date in milliseconds in the default format. So even if I give the time format, it will be in the same format because we do not add any manipulation. So let's now try the other values. So I'm going to give the second example. So here I'm giving a time shift with the date, and let me print it so we can see how does it work. Let me clear it, and then when I'm running it, here you can see the date, today's date, which is 18th of March 2024. So this gives the current date in the specified format, which is the DD, MM, YY. So in case if I want to change the format, say for example in other countries they might be using a different format like month and then the date. So in that format, again, if you really want to execute in that format, you can really use it. So you get the month first and then the date and then the year. So this is how the time shift function works. And then let's move on to the next part, next example. So I'm going to try this format here. So the time shift, which includes year, month, date, hour, and then the minutes and seconds. So let me print it, or let's add it in the log.info and let's see how does it work. We clear everything, and when I run it, here you can see the year, month, date, and then the hour, minute, and the seconds. So this is how the time shift function works, and let's try the next examples. So I'm going to try the time underscore c equals under within double quotes. I'm going to paste this example here. And now let's print the value. So in this one, I'm going to get the value of tomorrow or next day's value because I have manipulated it. So tomorrow plus C, and let's see. So, okay, there is an error, and let's see what is the error. So string time C. Yep. So we need to add time C. Let me run it again. So I have removed the entire value, and I'll just show you how to do this with the same example here. So I have pasted the time shift function. So this time shift function will display the current date in the specified format. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to print tomorrow's date. And for that, so in the first set of arguments, I have the time shift. And then when I come to the third part or the third value, so this is second value and then the third value. So in the third argument, if I give P1D, which is 1 day after the current date, and let me change this value to C here, and again the same thing here. Let's save it, clear everything, run the test. And here you can see we have successfully changed the date to the next day, which is tomorrow, which is 19th of March. And let me copy this again, and I'll give you the next example. So here I have got one day, and then I'm going to add 3 hour 4 minute, and this is going to be D1. So here we have got, this is the format for the day, this is for hour, and this is for minute. So let's execute this and see how does it work. And here if you see, we have incremented one day, and then we have added 4 hours to the current time. So this way we can add the time to the add the both the day and the time to our time function. And let's now go back to our previous code, and now I'm going to subtract the days. So I'm going to subtract 2 days. We can't do time travel, but still we can do this time shift function and we can do a quick time travel. So I've reduced 2 days from the current day, just from today's date. And let me clear it and run a test. And then if you see here, I've jumped to 16th of March. So this is how the forward and the backward days work. And then even if I want to, even okay, in case if you want to go to the next year, what will you do? Let me take the EC shift, which is the 1 day shift. So what is the format of doing it? So if I want to go to the next year same time, I'm really happy. If I am going to the next year, I would really have more videos in my channel and you would be getting a lot of knowledge. So it's just an imagination. And okay, let's do a shift to the next year, and let me clear it and let's run this script. So there's a small issue with, okay, let me change this format here. Let me just have only the year. Let me keep it 4. Okay, and let me run the script again. Let's see what's the example. Okay, I think, okay, let me change it to EF F, and I'm trying to fix whatever errors that comes on my way. And yes, so it's the values. Yeah, so by next year we are on the March of 2025, and yeah, so far we saw about shifting one day and then shifting 1 day and 4 hours, sorry, 3 hours and 4 minutes, and we have shifted 2 days back and we have moved to the next year the same day. And now we will see current date with the localization. So you want me to, okay, I want to show you the current date with the localization. So how to do it? So let me again go back, copy the format. So let me copy the current timestamp format because you're going to just change the time zone, right? The localization. So I have the year, month, date with me, and I'm going to the fourth argument, and here fr underscore fr. So we're going to try a different time zones time here. So FG. Let me change this to G as well. Let me save it and let's run the script. So here you can see we have got the timestamp day, as I have already told you. Not only about day or time or hour. We can even add days and hours to it. So which we have did here. We have added day, time of 3 hours and 4 minutes. We can even reduce time uh, from this. So let me do a quick example here. So minus P and T3 m. So this will actually reduce the time from the current timestamp. Let's try it now. And here you can see I have reduced 3 minutes from the current time, so it is 42 minutes now. So this way we can use the timestamp effectively in our JMeter tests. So with that I come to an end, and I believe this video would be very useful to you. So until I meet you in another interesting video, it's bye bye from Asan Shanmugam and Little Slaw.